I just got the word that Disney Plus is dropping another Star Wars series in August, Endor. So I guess I could have waited until then to try to cram all the Star Wars films. And no, I will not be doing them again for that. Maybe I'll try to find those Ewok movies and see if those have audio description. Yep, I wrapped up the original trilogy. I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Yep, this is the original trilogy. For a while there were only these three, and everybody loved them, and kids bought lots of Star Wars toys, and that's all we needed. And now I'm a blind film critic, and I'm going back through this to talk about the audio description. And, well, what is it like to be blind and watch Star Wars films? Yeah, Return of the Jedi is that film where I finally admit, after giving New Hope and Empire Strikes Back really good grades and just having like no problems with them, Return has always been one that I'm always like, there's a couple little... There's some like cheesy moments where like the direction gets kind of it's like funny. It's funny because everybody always makes fun of George Lucas's direction, and I'm like, well, George Lucas, I mean, he didn't make the directorial choice to put Leia in a sex slave costume, which serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever. Let's be honest. What's Jabba gonna do? They're not the same species. I don't even know. Like, does he have sex? Is that a thing for him? Or I don't know. Like, he's just kind of this big gross slug thing. And I think Leia was only in that costume because, target demo for Star Wars is boys. And boys like to ogle at things, so they put Leia in a revealing costume because she usually is not in one. And they were like, oh, look, she's got a body. I'm like, that's not like a good reason to put her in a costume. just because she's hot. I noticed that with Natalie Portman, like how like when she's standing on top of the tower in Attack of the Clones and the beast swipes at her, it tears a piece of clothing away from her midriff, and I'm like, of course it does. Like, it's not... I want to see a beast tear a piece of cloth away from the midriff of Ewan McGregor, like, why does it always tear clothes off of girls, like, anyway, but, there's that, and then there's the shot at the end. No, I'm sorry, but he did like one decent thing. He does not get to be up in the sky with like Yoda and Obi-Wan. He's not like forgiven for all of the terrible things that he's done so far. Even just the terrible things like within the context of just the original trilogy. And then when you think about it even more frustratingly with the prequel trilogy, you're like, that dude was like forgiven and floating in like Jedi heaven with with two people who were legitimately good people. Why? Like, I don't understand. Like, the Force cannot possibly be that easy to please. Just, you can go off and do like 1,000 terrible things, and then you do like one right before you die, one good thing, and suddenly Jedi heaven is like, oh, welcome, you get to float around in space now. Good for you. No. So there's always been a few things. I know, like, Star Wars fans are probably incensed. They're like, he didn't like Return. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I mean, this film has a lot of great action sequences. I'm saying this is the first film where I actually started going, there's some problems. We do spend a lot of time with Ewoks, and as far as, like, reinforcement troops, I don't know that they're maybe, like, the best reinforcement troops for the group. I think they were kind of put in there because they're cute. And they probably sold a lot of toys, if we're being really honest about why Ewoks exist. But, so just a few little things. But, like, story-wise, acting-wise, I didn't really have too many problems. Lando gets redemption. I don't know, Han gets the girl, and Luke gets to have emotional time with his father, and just a whole bunch of things. So, plus, as I mean, this is really like the last time that C3PO and R2D2 actually contribute to a story, because let's be honest, 7, 8, and 9 just kind of, they're just kind of there for nostalgia purposes. So, yeah, so audio description on this was okay. I did notice one thing, and I swear, and I was paying so much attention, I never heard them referred to as Ewoks, which I thought was so interesting, because, I mean, they're not going to call themselves Ewoks. So it followed the rules of the audio description, but it just kind of felt weird to me, because it's like, we all know they're Ewoks. And it just felt weird that at no point, I mean, it does a great job of describing them. I think at one point it says, like, cute little teddy bears or something like that. It just refers to them as basically what they are. And it tries to distinguish and differentiate between some of the ones that have like slightly different looks, kind of like the Smurfs. They're kind of, they have like slight differences, but they all kind of look like Smurfs, but like one of them has like a little bit of gray or something. Yeah. They don't look like wildly different. But that's maybe my only thing. Again, we follow the rules of Star Wars films in terms of audio description, which is if the character's been in a film before, you don't get character descriptions. So there aren't really new characters introduced in Return of the Jedi, because it's the wrap up, it's the conclusion to everything. So you end up getting just like, oh, this is the first scene they're in this film, so we're just gonna start calling him by the name, and we just keep going on from there. So there's a little bit of a conversation, because obviously, I think it does talk about, there's a scene where I think Luke takes off his glove, and you get to sort of see how that was handled. I think it does mention that, because that was a change for him. But other than that, this film is pretty much a bunch of returning characters, so there's no character description except for Ewoks. So, yeah, but it's good audio description. It's obviously it's the last film that Miles did as a narrator, so it's kind of sad to know that his voice has moved on. But he did a great job. I actually like him better than Martin Bellamy, which is why, if you look at my other reviews, I haven't really, I mean, like, Martin Bellamy's narration is fine, but there's an excitement with Miles that you don't get with Martin. And like, I feel like Miles, like, I don't want to like transport myself inside his head, but Star Wars was a thing, obviously in 1977, when the first film came out, there was no audio description. So Star Wars got to be this huge thing, and it had a huge following with fans. And somewhere along the way, they were like, oh, well, we have to put audio description on this, and we have to pick somebody to be the narrator. And to be chosen to be that narrator must have felt like this incredible gift. Like you won something. Like you won some intangible lottery. And he actually feels like that. You can feel this like giddy sort of schoolboy joy that he has in his narration for the 6 Star Wars films that he's the narrator of. So Martin just sort of feels like I'm describing Star Wars films just like I describe everything else. And and that's fine. I mean, he's a good narrator, so it's fine. But I do enjoy the excitement that Miles brings to the narration. So again, this is not my favorite Star Wars, but no, by all means, this is still like near the top. I mean, there's a lot to like here. It's just this is the first film that I saw of the Star Wars films when I watched them originally in the order of release. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 was how I originally saw them. So this is the first one where I was like, I feel like we missed some points here, but okay. I mean, it's mostly fun. I don't have a problem with like how it ended. I know sometimes people are like, "Oh, the finales." They didn't. Fans don't like how finales wrap things up, and that wasn't really my problem. My problem was just some of it was a little goofy. I guess I didn't like the fact that Anakin was in the sky. I guess it's a wrap up part, but I didn't mind that Vader saved Luke. Like, that didn't bother me. I just don't think he should have earned redemption from that. But that's my thoughts on the Jedi's return. I'm gonna give Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi an A-. Again, really enjoyable, and I always feel like I have to watch 4, 5, and 6. This is not a franchise where I feel, oh, I have to watch this other one. I don't really like it. I don't feel the need to skip over it. It's not like I just watch New Hope and Empire and just stop watching. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe my stuff, and visit MacTheMovieGuy.com for more reviews, and check out the Audio Description Project and what those good folk are doing over there at the Audio Description Project, making a list and checking it twice to find out which movies are naughty or nice or have audio description. That's what they do. So until next time, when the Force will awaken, apparently. I guess that's what happens next. We'll see.